Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Bulldog Show. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Law. If you've got a big case, contact Deters Law. Also, if you live in the Independence, Northern Kentucky area, check out Parks Yoga. That's my son's yoga studio. First story, the United States Supreme Court, in a 5-4 decision, has agreed to take up the Title 42 case relative to the border. Remarkably, Gorsuch voted with the 3 liberal justices. However, in this 5-4 decision, it looks like they will hear oral argument in February, and there would be expected a decision by June. The bottom line is this delays Title 42 from going away. To refresh your memory, Title 42 was a COVID-related policy. They used COVID as an excuse. It goes all the way back to the early 1900s when it dealt with a meningitis outbreak. Trump used it in the COVID situation to make sure that these immigrants that came in illegally could be sent home quickly and stopped. The Biden administration wants it to go away. There is speculation if Title 42 goes away, we're going to have 14,000 a day or 5 million illegal immigrants coming to this country a year. Make no mistake about it. No matter what the Biden administration says about this is a broken immigration system and it's been broken for so long and we need bipartisan, that's all bullshit. Because Trump had it all fixed. His immigration policy, his use of Title 42, his construction of the wall, and his enforcement of the laws already on the books. Thomas Homan came and spoke to those that gathered at my Somerset Freedom Fest. And he told us the truth of what went down. And it was amazing. So this is a good move. Bottom line is, let's hope it makes some sense. Jim Baker was a scumbag lawyer who was the lawyer for the FBI. He leaves there in disgrace, and where does he go? He goes to Twitter. Guess what? Musk fired him for what he was trying to do to avoid all the cleansing that was going on in Twitter. What has come out is Jim Baker actually, you can't make this up. He actually labeled and flagged an optimistic tweet that was made by President Trump about not being worried about COVID. He flagged it. The internal guy from Twitter said, wait a minute, being optimistic shouldn't be cause for censorship. You believe it? Thank God Jim Baker's now gone. Google. You can't make this up, folks. Google's search engine is so biased. I told the story where I plugged in yesterday. I did a post on this. Bogus Trump accusations or bogus Trump attacks and all these things. What pops up? Attacks that they don't think are bogus. It's truly remarkable. Think of that search engine. You can actually plug into Google any news story. If you plug in Trump news, I did that last night. What pops up? All of the liberal alphabet news story. Nothing from Newsmax, nothing from Fox, nothing. It's all liberal. It's truly amazing. And guess what? We know if Twitter did it, think about Google, Facebook, on Instagram, all of them. Last but not least, Trump, as he always does, fights back against the New York Magazine author who said all these things about he's alone, his family's not supporting him, they're all distant and everything else. Well, let me tell you something. One of the things that they mentioned was Don Jr. wasn't at the announcement. Well, we know the reason why Don Jr., he got tied up on an airplane flight. So anyway, I'm going to defend Trump once again. And by the way, that clown committee is releasing the tax returns. Releasing the tax returns before they take over. Finally, on this Trump front, can't make this up. The grabbing the you-know-what, I defended Trump. Stormy Daniels, the Russian hoax, they spied on him, the 2 impeachments, the raid on Mar-a-Lago, the clown committee, the election, his tax returns, everything. I have defended and spoken up for Trump every step of the way. Do you know who has not said one single word from 2015 all the way to now defending Donald Trump on any of that? Daniel Cameron, Ryan Qualls, Kelly Craft, Alan Keck, or whatever his name is, Mike Harmon, and all the rest of the Republicans running for governor. Why? Because they're all bought and owned by Mitch McConnell, not me. I denounce Mitch McConnell. The day is going to come when President Trump, number 45, realizes the real Trump guy, the one who the Trump voters love, the one that Ride 45 supports, the one who the Trump bikers support, Mark Smith, Smitty, RC, Casper Pittman, and George Coella, is me. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Bulldog TV Local News, which obviously just follows the Bulldog Show. And the lead story is really going to be a commentary before we get into the law and crime and the local news. And that commentary is to remind you, and I know you know this, and I want all of you secret watchers of the show, secret supporters of the show, keep doing it in secret. Keep sending me information because you know what? I'll protect your anonymity. I get if you work for a city, a school district, a county, the state, the federal government, or one of our corporations, whether it's a national corporation or one of our local corporations. I understand that you live in the woke world. That's what we're here for. We have now broken in the news that St. Elizabeth Medical Center's buying in talks to buy TriHealth, that there's something behind the NKU president's resignation. There's something by the director of the VA's resignation and movement. And guess what? None of those local news agencies besides us have said a word about it or asked a word. Why? Because we know that the corporate woke world of the local meet in Cincinnati supports corporate health care, all the hospitals, the big companies. They all support all of it, all the wokeness, which is remarkable because guess what? Northern Kentucky and the tri-state area, with the exception of Cincinnati itself, is very conservative and libertarian. But none of those people want to anger any of it. We are going to keep building this platform. I drafted a memorandum last night about what our plans are. And after drafting it, I set it down and I was like, wow, this is a wonderful idea. Thank you for your support and keep spreading the word. Keep watching us. All right, law and crime. A pair of suspects were placed under arrest this week for a double shooting in Elmwood Place on 2nd. Stephen Neiman is behind bars for aggravated murder and Dontira Gray was charged with obstruction. Neiman shot 2 people. One of them later died in the hospital. Can't make this up. I saw a post yesterday where somebody is basically saying the only shootings that happen in this country are white supremacists. It really pees me off because guess what? The massive shootings that go on in this day, every single day in Chicago, and they go on in the Cincinnati area, is black on black crime. And none of the black leaders ever breathe a word of it. My top friend, and I call him a friend, I consider him a friend, Fanon Rucker, Cochran Law Firm, ran for prosecutor. I burnt the bridge for Fanon Rucker when he did run for prosecutor. I only asked him for one favor after being the single largest donor to his campaign, and he didn't come through. But I want to tell you something. Fanon Rucker and the rest of them never talk about black on black crime. It's only when a white person shoots somebody that now they get their bee in a bonnet. A judge has set bond for $100,000 for Northern Kentucky man Donnie Applegate. Applegate allegedly tried to kill a Covington police officer Monday night after a police chase and pullover. Applegate tried to drive away during the stop and barely missed the officer but struck the cruiser. I know that guy. Sad. Long history. Norwood man Micah Johnson has been charged with felonious assault for an incident outside of Mount Adams Bar. Johnson had an altercation with a man that ended up with a punch and Johnson throwing a fire pit at him. The victim received 5 staples in his head after being struck by a 44-pound ceramic pit. Ouch. In local news, 36-year-old Candace Norton was struck and killed Tuesday night by a pickup truck in Deerfield Township. The woman was walking in the middle of the road in an unlit portion of Mason, Montgomery. The driver of the pickup stayed on the scene. No details were released on why the woman was on the road. A new report is shedding light on what states had the most Christmas spirit across the U.S. this year. The tri-state placed pretty well. Ohio was 6th and Kentucky 7th, and Indiana was 8th. What state had the most Christmas spirit? New Hampshire. In Kentucky state news, voter registration in Kentucky continues to grow. According to new numbers released in November, Kentucky saw a net gain of over 4,000 voters for the month, with Republicans outpacing Democratic registrations. We're going to need every one of them to beat Beshear. Retiring Ohio State Senator Jay Hottinger shared a video of his last day at the Ohio State House Tuesday. The video shows freezing cold water pouring in through a burst pipe into the Senate chamber. I say this is a bad omen. The damage isn't expected to affect the scheduled start of a new legislative session next week. 157 years after serving as a general in the U.S. Civil War, Ohio native Ulysses S. Grant is getting a promotion. Grant was given the title General of Armies of the United States in a provision signed Friday. Grant is the 3rd individual to hold the title. General John Pershing and George Washington are the only others. I knew that. And sports, Xavier's men's basketball cracked the top 25 ranking this week for the first time. They come in at number 22. Will face St. John's University tonight. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Stay tuned for Jamie Spenley's World News.
Hello again, Bulldog Nation. This is Bulldog TV World News. The latest headlines. The lead story. Apple and Tesla stocks have tumbled over growing concerns about delays in their production lines in China. Apple shares at their lowest point since June 2021, and Tesla stocks have dropped 73% since November 21. At least 14 people have been killed and 24 injured in Calabar, Nigeria, as a speeding car lost control into a crowd of people at a popular bikers' carnival. The US is considering imposing new COVID restrictions on Chinese arrivals after Beijing announced it would reopen its borders next month as cases continue to surge. Taiwan will extend mandatory military service from 4 months to 1 year, with growing concerns with attention from China. And thousands of travelers are stranded at airports across the US as flights are cancelled or delayed. 4,900 flights have been cancelled and over 4,400 delayed due to the winter storms across America. Until tomorrow, hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care. Every dog has its day.